There was a drastic lighting change. Hi. What up, my big beautiful babies? It's Meghan Tonjes. You're watching People Keep Talking, the show where I talk about news and trends throughout the week. If you're thinking that I look particularly adorable today, you're right, and you're welcome. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I don't like what... Hello, I put makeup on for you today. I did my hair. Like what? I showed up. Can you show up? And if by the end of this video you like it, you like what I had to say, you just like me in general, give me a little tippy tap, a little thumbs up, and I super appreciate you. So I asked the BBs over on social media what I should talk about today, and here are some of the things you suggested. One of the main things you wanted me to talk about was Dick's Sporting Goods coming out with a statement about how they are changing their policies around selling guns. Basically, Dick's Sporting Goods came out and said that they actually sold a gun to the Parkland shooter back in November of 2017, though it wasn't the gun that was used and it wasn't the kind of gun that was used. They understand that they're part of the problem. So moving forward, they have committed themselves to the following: no longer selling assault style rifles, no longer selling firearms to anyone under the age of 21, no longer selling high-capacity magazines, and to never bump stocks that will allow semi-automatic weapons to fire more rapidly. This is a big move, and I've actually been oddly encouraged this week, and I think a lot of this has been pushed from the teens that survived the Parkland shooting, and a lot of social media pressure, which, listen, you can say all you want about social media, but sometimes like it gets shit done. A lot of companies are pulling out of supporting the NRA or giving NRA members discounts, and those that aren't are definitely feeling a little bit of the backlash. Below in the comments, I would love to know, how do you feel about this? Do you think that this is a positive move, a positive way that social media is being used to change possible laws, possible policies? According to dailymail.com, public schools enlist germ-zapping robots to prevent the spread of infectious diseases in classrooms. First of all, these things are $125,000 each. So apparently this robot puts out a like 14-foot wide bubble that has ultraviolet C light, and this kills germs that are on exposed surfaces. So many S's. I'm torn, right? Because part of it is like, I'm here for technology to help out, especially when it comes to kids getting sick or people getting sick or just people at risk getting sick. I don't know many schools that are gonna be able to pay $125,000 for these little robots to like sift around their class, but okay. Also, side note, this symbol totally looks like the PAX vaporizer symbol, so hi, 420 blaze it. TechCrunch.com just announced that Twitter launches bookmarks, which apparently is a private way to save your likes. I have been waiting for you. For the everyday average person, you're probably like, who gives a shit about what I like and who's even looking at that? As someone who's been yelled at online for something that they liked, let me tell you. For me, I like things on Twitter for a lot of different reasons. Number one, because I like it. It's something that I agree with. It's something that I want to look back at later. I also occasionally will like things that I want to make a video about, that I want to respond to, something that I don't agree with, but I'm like, I have it in my little list of things now, because when I make a video talking about this issue, I can pull up this tweet and use this in my conversation, in my debate. I have definitely liked things in the past that people have been like, what are you doing? This is so outside of, you know, what you talk about, and immediately go into attack mode. And there's just no good way of like saving the information for later in a convenient way. And then you sit online, you're like trying to explain your intentions to someone that's looking at your favorites, which is, I get it. I've looked at people's favorites before, but it's like still super weird to comment on it. Like, I mean, it is what it is. It's like you're creeping through my shit that's also public, so it's not really private, but it feels like a private situation, and then you're yelling at me about it. I feel like you're reading my journal and then I'm getting in trouble because I use bad words. So I'm here for bookmarks. I'm shocked it took him this long to do this. I also discovered on Twitter today, I've been sitting here like a total asshole when I create a thread, just adding myself, going back to the last tweet, adding it. Now, when you create a thread, you can actually just add all of the tweets at once, tweet them all out as a thread, and no one gave me a heads up. This just changed my entire life. I'm gonna go on Twitter rants all day, every day, which by the way, you should follow me at Meghan Tonjes because my Twitter game is... This is from FoxNews.com. Georgia teacher in custody after allegedly opening fire in classroom. So on the surface level, immediately this is terrifying, especially with all the stuff that's going on. And I'm definitely on the side of, I don't need my teachers to have guns. I want to make it hard for people to get guns that would walk into a school and shoot kids. I think that we have to acknowledge at some point, because I see a lot of back and forth on Facebook of people being like, well, teachers would never do anything wrong, they're teachers, and that we need to stop equating people's jobs with who they are as people. I know that everyone here wants to think that like, well, if you're a doctor or you're a lawyer or you're a cop or you're a teacher, You're a good person, you believe in justice, you always do things that are right, and you're completely stripping the reality that people have prejudice. People do bad things. Just because you work in an area that's seen as and like elevated as this great thing, that doesn't necessarily change your morality. It doesn't necessarily change your humanity, your ability to get it wrong. And so I just think it's weird to put people on pedestals because of their career. I think that's, y'all need to get over it. There are people that are really great people that try to do the right thing as often as they can, that are cops and teachers and doctors, and then there are people that do horrible shit that also have the same jobs. We cannot conflate all of those things. You have to understand that variation, and if you don't, I feel like you're incredibly naive and you live in a fucking Disney wonderland. Not all people are good people, and not all good people make good decisions. So from what I've read so far, it was a handgun. No students were in the classroom when it happened, and they're still investigating why it happened. What is this teacher doing with this gun? Is this teacher trying to shoot himself? Is he trying to shoot someone else? Is he cleaning the gun in the middle of the day? Like, is it a misfire? What's going on? And then what's so interesting is the conversation online, whereas, you know, some people are like, this is exactly the reason teachers should not have guns. And then other people are saying, well, he's probably just some liberal who's trying to make a point so that we don't actually have guns in schools. And somewhere there in the middle probably lies the truth, and probably also lies the fact of like, who gives a shit? Why do you have a gun in a school? The internet, you know, is just, the internet's a place. Speaking of other trash things that were said today, Representative Don Young from Alaska, Republican, what's up Don, said how many Jews were put in the ovens because they were unarmed. I need you all to stop. I know that you are so desperate to put, like, someone comes out of the womb and you hand them a gun, like babies with guns. Like, I know you're so excited, you want us to all just be carrying semi-automatic weapons. It's the American dream, I got it, okay? But I need us all to get real educated and to start understanding why things happen. Jewish people were not killed because they didn't have guns, because they couldn't defend themselves. You are talking about ideologies that also mirror things that are happening in the United States on every level, mixed with fear, mixed with entitlement, mixed with the belief that because your skin color is different, because your religion is different, because your culture is different than mine, that I now have the right to lower you in how you can live, where you can work, what you can do. And in fact, I can look at you as less than me to the point that I can be okay with you dying. If you don't understand the repetition of that throughout history, why people, like, we're just every day. I was watching something yesterday and I was hanging out with Keith and I'm like, we're still so idiotic. Like, it's incredible to me. You think humans have come so far and it's like, we still sit here and we're like, well, melanin, that's enough of a reason for me to hate you. Like, we're just so idiotic. I can't. To not understand that and to want the Band-Aid to be like, let's just hand out weapons and then everyone can just shoot at each other. Y'all are so stupid. I can't. The next article is one that my roommate sent to me because he knows how badly I want Margot to live for forever. Barbara Streisand cloned her dogs for $50,000. You can clone yours too. I'm not gonna lie, if I had a ton of money and $50,000 was like no big deal, I would consider cloning the dog, but here's ultimately why I wouldn't. Number one, you can't promise that they're gonna be exactly like the pet that you have. Like, obviously Margot's the way that she is for certain reasons, but also like, I got her when I was in college and she was with me all of the time, and they're very, like, I'm all here for like nature and nurture, you know? And I can't say that I could replicate the exact same person I was in the same circumstances to make another dog exactly like Margot. Secondly, I think it's okay that as human beings, we participate in the idea of death and how scary the finality of it feels, but also it's okay to have something or someone and then to not have them and to not feel the need. I know that that's something we deal with a lot, of like wanting to just keep bringing things back and never be without them, but that's just not reality. And I think that loss is a huge part of life. But really the reason I wouldn't do this is that there are just so many animals that need homes, and there are animals that will love you, that will enrich your life, that you don't need to pay $50,000 for a girl. You need to pay $300 for and get them rehomed and get their shots. Like, everyone can do what they want with their money, and I totally understand the reasoning behind it, and I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't be tempted, but at the same time, if you have room in your life for 2 more dogs, I promise you there are 2 other dogs that need homes that you would love just as much. Listen, on this channel we do a segment called BB of the Day. That's where I give some internet love to my internet loves. And I wanna give a shout out to Angela Petrie, I hope I'm saying your name right, who yesterday I did a sex toy unboxing video because I'm doing the Lord's work. You're welcome. Angela said, Megan's new sex toy review blog named Dances with Vibrators. I think this is your best Adam and Eve unboxing yet. I love how open and non-judgmental you are. We need more of you in the world doing the Lord's work. I have so much fun doing those videos. They are sponsored, but like I get so excited when I get one of those boxes because I know I'm gonna have so much fun, and I know editing it, I'm gonna be cackling the entire time. You can find me at Meghan Tonjes on most things. There's a new podcast up, Adventures in Roommating, if you wanna go check that out, and subscribe finally. A lot of you have been leaving comments saying, I've known about the podcast forever and I took so long to subscribe and I regret it now because, oh my God, this is so funny. I really appreciate those comments because I've been doing the podcast for a few years. It's probably, I think, some of the funniest stuff that I do, and I don't have to wear pants or be on camera, which is just incredible. You can find me Meghan Tonjes on most things. I would super appreciate you saying hi to your grandmas for me because I got places to go, I got people to touch. I like your faces very much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.